The Internet in Kazakhstan is growing rapidly. Between 2001 and 2005, the number of Internet users increased from 200,000 to 1 million. By 2007, Kazakhstan reported Internet penetration levels of 8.5%, rising to 12.4% in 2008. In 2010, Internet penetration level reached 34.3%. By 2013, Kazakhstan officials reported Internet penetration levels of 62.2%. There are 5 first-tier ISPs with international Internet connections and approximately 100 second-tier ISPs that are purchasing Internet traffic. For the first-tier ISPs, penetration and ISPs, the National Statistical Agency reports that 73% of users access the Internet by dial-up, 15% by means of ADSL, and 6% using satellite access. Over 50% of users accessed the Internet from home in 2008. 42% of families living in towns with populations of at least 70,000 people have a personal computer. Kazakh Telecom reported an increase in its broadband subscriber base from 270,000 to 456,000 in 2008.5. Despite these increases, Internet usage is concentrated in urban centers, while outside those centers access remains beyond the reach of most Kazakhs. The official language in the country is Kazakh, spoken by 64% of the population. Russian, spoken by 85%, is recognized as the official language of international communication. Russian is the most popular language used on the Internet, followed by Kazakh and English, a figure which may account for the high percentage of Kazakh websites hosted in Russia. 6% of KZ domain websites are hosted in Kazakhstan, with the remainder hosted in Russia and elsewhere. The cost of Internet access remains high relative to the average salary. Kazakh Telecom's tariffs for unlimited ADSL access with capacity of 128 kbit per second were $30. However, as a result of the ongoing liberalization in the telecommunications sector in 2007, the operators' tariffs fell considerably. Since 2007, schools in Kazakhstan are provided with free dial-up access, which is being expanded to include broadband connections. Internet service providers. Kazakh Telecom is the operator of the National Data Transfer Network, which connects the major cities of Kazakhstan with a total bandwidth of 957 mbit per second and carrying capacity in separate local segments of up to 10 gbit per second. Kazakh Telecom had about 2.5 million fixed-line subscribers in 2005 and accounted for approximately 90% of the country's fixed-line market. It also controlled 49% of the country's leading mobile operator, GSM Kazakhstan, and 50% of another cellular operator, Altel. Kazakh Telecom liberalization of the telecommunications market in 2004 increased competition among the 5 licensed operators: Kazakh Telecom, Transtelecom, Kaztranscom, ANA, and Astel. The first-tier ISPs with international Internet connections and their own infrastructure are Kazakh Telecom, Nursat, Transtelecom, Kaztranscom, ANA, Astel, and TNS+. There are approximately 100 second-tier ISPs that are purchasing Internet traffic from the first-tier ISPs. They include Kcell, INTELSOFT, Almaty, Beeline, Digital TV, Jet 3G, Nursat, Sikatel, SPUT TV, Today, telecom market liberalization has not been completely carried out, as there are restrictions on foreign ownership for fixed-line operators providing long-distance and international services. In addition, Kazakh Telecom retains dominance over the telecommunications market, making it difficult for other operators to compete. Kazakh Telecom is also launching an interactive IPTV service, as it attempts to maintain its dominance in the fixed-line market. Other leading first-tier ISPs, Nursat and Astel, operate terrestrial and satellite-based infrastructure. There are 5 mobile operators in the country. 3 operators are offering GSM services and 2 CDMA. The government estimates that 60% of the population uses mobile services. One of the largest ISPs, ANA, accused Kazakh Telecom of breaching the law for promoting competition and limiting monopolist activities. ANA claimed that Kazakh Telecom used uncertified systems that monitor and interfere with the telecommunications of customers who are using services offered by competing companies. An investigation of the Kazakh government revealed that such systems indeed existed and were used by Kazakh Telecom, but no evidence was found to prove Kazakh Telecom was intentionally interfering with competitor activities. Legal and regulatory frameworks. The Kazakh government exhibits an ambiguous and at times contradictory approach to the Internet. The long-term development strategy of Kazakhstan for 2030 demonstrates the government's strong commitment to create a modern national information infrastructure. The government has announced plans to develop e-government as a part of a 2005 to 2007 program. Since 2008, government officials have been encouraged to create their own personal blogs. At the same time, the government follows a multi-level information security policy, which maintains surveillance of telecommunications and internet traffic in the country. The Ministry of Transport and Communications is the main policy maker and regulator in the telecommunications market. The Agency for Informatization and Communication, a central executive body in the IT field, is authorized to implement state policy in telecommunications and information technology development industries, exercise control in these sectors, and issue licenses to every type of telecommunications service. The Security Council, a body chaired by the President, is responsible for drafting decisions and providing assistance to the head of state on issues of defense and national security. The SC also prepares a list of websites every 6 months that should be blocked if forbidden from distribution. A 2005 SC decision made it illegal for key national security bodies to connect to the Internet. However, despite this prohibition, only field researchers found evidence that state officials accessed forbidden websites using dial-up accounts and anonymizer applications. The security system in Kazakhstan is complex and multi-layered. The Interdepartmental Commission is charged with coordinating and developing the national information infrastructure. The National Security Committee monitors presidential, government, and military communications. The Office of the Prime Minister is an authorized state body responsible for the protection of state secrets and maintenance of information security. Broadly defined, a state secret encompasses various government policies as well as information about the president's private life, health, and financial affairs. The NSC has issued a general license to the private agency on information security to establish and organize facilities for cryptographic protection of information, as well as to formulate proposals on information security to state organizations, corporate clients, banks, and other large commercial companies. The Kazakh Ministry of Internal Affairs operates Department K, which bears the functions of its counterpart in the Russian Federation. This department is tasked with investigating and prosecuting cybercrime and cyber cyber attacks. At present, ISPs are required to prohibit their customers from disseminating pornographic, extremist, or terrorist materials, or any other information that is not in accordance with the country's laws. Kazakh officials are also considering additional laws to further regulate the Kazakh internet. One draft law presently under consideration envisions liability for owners of websites hosting weblogs and forums, as well as users of chat rooms. The draft law equates internet sites to media outlets and applies similar regulations with respect to content. The authors of the law justify tighter oversight by the need to fight cybercrime and provide greater accountability for internet users. The Kazakhstan Association of IT Companies is the officially recognized administrator of the KZ domain. It is registered as a NGO, but it has 80% government ownership. The rules of registration and management of the KZ domain were issued by the State Agency on Informatization and Communication of the Republic of Kazakhstan in 2005. In recent years, the cost for registering and maintaining a domain name have significantly decreased, thereby boosting the development of the Kazakh portion of the Internet. Registrations are subject to strict regulation. Applications may be denied if the server on which they are located resides outside Kazakhstan, even though the primary legislation guarantees freedom of speech and prohibits censorship. The government often resorts to various legal mechanisms to suppress inappropriate information or to ensure that domain names used by opposition groups are frozen or withdrawn. As a result, very few political parties in Kazakhstan use the Internet, and few opposition or illegal parties have an online presence. The ICT sector in Kazakhstan is overregulated, as evidenced by some 300 legislative acts that expressly or implicitly control the ICT environment. All telecommunications operators are legally obliged, as part of the licensing requirement, to connect their channels to a public network controlled by Kazakh Telecom. The so-called billing center of telecommunication traffic, established by the government in 1999, helps monitor the activity of private companies and strengthen the monopolist position of Kazakh Telecom in the IT sphere. In the past, some telecommunications operators circumvented such regulations by using VoIP for their interregional and international traffic, but the imposition of VoIP telephony tariffs eliminated this option. Provisions for propagation of false information and spreading rumors. The new Criminal Code of Kazakhstan, which took effect on January 1, 2015, prohibits the deliberate propagation of false information, more popularly referred to as spreading rumors. Quote, according to the Jamestown Institute, the dissemination of such unsubstantiated information in the media and on social networks may be subject to fines as high as $54,000 or, as an alternative, community work or jail sentence up to 5 years. Quote, this measure was adopted in the wake of a run on two banks in February 2014, which was fueled by text messages on mobile phones, and resulted in the bailout of Kaspi Bank by the National Bank of Kazakhstan. However, it was also invoked in the case of a young man who spread false information about the death of Prime Minister Sarik Akhmetov in January 2015. Surveillance and filtering. The government has established systems to monitor and filter Internet traffic. Since the traffic of all first-tier ISPs goes through Kazakh Telecom's channels, surveillance and filtering is centralized. The ONI suspects that state officials informally ask Kazakh Telecom to filter certain content. Kazakh Telecom, along with some Russian companies, has openly signed an agreement to provide filtering, censorship, and surveillance on the basis of Security Council resolutions. There are several recorded cases of journalists and website owners that have been prosecuted under broad media and criminal provisions. 21 oppositional and independent media sites have been permanently suspended, allegedly for providing links to publications concerning corruption among senior state officers and the president. In 2004, the chairs of the National Security Committee and the Agency for Informatization and Communications approved rules providing for mechanisms for monitoring the telecommunications operators and networks. These rules prescribe full collaboration and information sharing between the government agencies. This system is similar to that of the Russian SORM, introduced to monitor activities of users and any related information. The rules oblige ISPs to register and maintain electronic records of customer Internet activity. Providers are required to install special software and hardware equipment in order to create and store records for a specified amount of time, including login times, connection types, transmitted and received traffic between parties of the connection, identification number of the session, duration of time spent online, IP address of the user, and speed of data receipt and transmission. The OpenNet initiative conducted testing on two main ISPs, Kazakh Telecom and Nursat. Kazakh Telecom blocks opposition groups' websites, regional media sites that carry political content, and selected social networking sites. A number of proxy sites providing anonymous access to the Internet have also been blocked. The ONI suspects that filtering practices in Kazakhstan are evolving and are performed at the network backbone by Kazakh Telecom, which filters traffic it provides to downstream operators. Consequently, Kazakh ISPs may unknowingly receive pre-filtered content. At the same time, not all incoming and outgoing traffic passes through Kazakh Telecom's centralized network, resulting in inconsistent patterns of blocking. The majority of Internet users are on edge networks, such as Internet Cafe and corporate networks. Kazakhstan companies apply filtering mechanisms at the user level to prevent employees from accessing pornography, music, film, and dating websites. However, ONI testing found that Kazakhstan does not block any pornographic content to sites related to drug and alcohol use. Terminology. People in Kazakhstan use the term Kaznet to refer to the Internet space originating from and related to Kazakhstan. Similarly, they use the terms Uznet, Kernet, Kegnet, and Runet used to refer to Uzbek, Kyrgyz, and Russian Internet spaces, respectively. Milestones. On the 19th of September 1994 was officially registered top-level domain, KZ. In 1997 Kazakhstan's site received its first international award at the International Competition Business Website of 1997. Non-existent Draft had become one of the winners. Since December 24, 1996, Alexander Lyakov founded the informational educational portal Lyakov KZ, large encyclopedia of Kaznet. In 1997, by the same author Alexander Lyakov, unofficial father of Kazakhstan Internet, launched a project directory rubricator of Kazakh web resources, the whole www Kazakhstan. In 1998, Kazakhstan part of the Internet appeared the first online store and catalog goods guide park. In June 1998, the first site in the Kazakh language appears, Physico-Technical Institute MNNRK. Since September 1998 in Kazakhstan, carried out continuous broadcasting over the Internet. Broadcast transmissions Almaty City Broadcasting Hub via SDC Almaty Telecom using Real Audio. In October 1998, for the first time in Kaznet, the online online access to university resources. The electronic catalogue of KazGU is launched. In 1999, the IANA appointed an international organization, Kazakh Network Information Center, as an administrator of country code top-level domain (KZ). On April 6, 2004, Kazakhstan Association of IT Companies was created. 2004, the de jure transfer registry of domain names (KZ) under the control of the Agency of Kazakhstan for Informatization and Communication. On October 1, 2005, and the management and regulation of the domain KZ involved two organizations: the de facto Kazakh Network Information Center, corresponding the technical side of the operation of the domain, and de jure Kazakhstan Association of IT Companies, which runs the development of the registration and ideology of the national domain. By March 12, 2010, as a result of reorganization of the Agency of Kazakhstan for Informatization and Communication and the Ministry of Culture and Information, the Ministry of Communications and Information was established and granted the power of regulating the Internet. In May 2011, Google, which operates FixerKZ, was notified by the Ministry of Communications and Information in Kazakhstan that all KZ domain names must operate on servers physically located within Kazakhstan borders. In response to the requirement, Google decided to redirect FixerKZ visitors to Google.com. This change means search results will no longer be customized for Kazakhstan. In June 2011, Google relaunched FixerKZ. The Kazakhstan authorities issued new guidance stating that the order that all KZ domains must operate on servers physically located within Kazakhstan borders no longer applies to previously registered domains.